Hello and welcome to round 3 coverage of Grand Prix Rotterdam. I'm Brian David Marshall, joined in the booth by Mate Zadelkai, and we are watching a preview of the World Magic Cup next week. Here, Team Japan, Kenji Samura, the Hall of Famer, Shota Yasuoka, the Hall of Famer, and Toru Takashita, WMCQ winner, who has a Grand Prix top 8 to his resume, playing against basically the starting lineup from Team Luxembourg here. Arthur Quirez, Stephen Hato, and Jeffrey Martinell.
Yeah, and as Steve was saying, the lineup here is the same that they will have for the sealed portion of the World Magic Cup. Of course, there's 4 people; they have to change it around, but it's nice practice for them.
Yeah, and I wonder if that's the same strategy that Japan's employed here in terms of who's sitting on the sidelines. Kenji Samura opened up with a trusty companion, Bracada Pillarbug, Emerald Bruiser for Arthur.
Yeah, Arthur looks like set classic blue-black control. We've seen a lot of it this tournament already. One of the favorites among the teams, and black-white also quite popular as well as an archetype, mainly as a small artifact team. And I'm really curious to see what Kenji has brought, because we talked about trusting companion today already. So I wonder where he's going to go with it. If it's more of a blocker, if he has some vehicles or something else.
Well, white-black can go in either direction, right? Very
exactly.
Aggressive or very controlling.
And anywhere in between. That's the most important bit. That you can really tune your black-white decks to be good in any phase of the game if you have the cards for it.
I mean, you have also a ton of token makers, so you can also be the go-wide, inspiring charge deck. All right, in comes the Bruiser.
And you can see already Arthur has a little bit of an experience tapping mana before combat to play a creature, then changing his mind, untapping, attacking. It's already showing...
no menace there.
Yeah. No artifact just yet.
Yeah. And there's a Foundry Screecher. No artifact, so only a 2/1.
Yeah, we'll see if he has some to follow that up with.
So Pillarbug gets in, gains lifelink. Kenji's going to go to 22. Arthur's going to fall to 18. And what's the follow-up from Samura, the Hall of Famer? It is Consulate Skygate.
Yeah, one of your favorite cards.
This is not the Inspired Charge deck.
No, this is a defensive deck. I assume Kenji has some sort of good late game going on. When he plays Skygate and Trusty Companion together in a deck, it just assumes that it's set up very defensively. So Arthur has a good card to break through these kinds of decks, though.
Absolutely. There's the Oval Chase Daredevil, and that card is really, we've talked about this, a problem for the decks that are looking to hide behind their 4 toughness defenders.
Yeah. Ooh, either Marauder, so Kenji taking it to the air, but not
taking any counters with him.
No, not taking any counters, and it's not really that impressive on this board. I think one of the Founders creatures would happily trade with it if gotten the opportunity. But look at Arthur's hand. He has Renegade Freighter. Is that double done operative and a Prophetic Prism?
Yes, it is. Wow.
And still a land to play as well, so he can definitely play 2 spells here. But I think he'll try to go for a trade here, and post-com he'll probably play the Freighter.
Yep. So here comes the...
Yeah, Kenji knows what's up. Yeah,
he's like, you're blue-black.
Yeah.
There's a lot of artifacts you could play here.
Exactly.
But that's a card he's going to need to deal with perhaps multiple times this game.
There we go. Arthur should really think about what he's playing before he starts tapping mana. He's really giving away needless information here. If he's undecided, he can just wait.
Right. Renegade Freighter and Dunda Operative are the plays he ultimately decides on. So now that Foundry Screecher is a 3. And... had Kenji wanted to block that Daredevil, it would have been able to come back from his graveyard when he played the Renegade Freighter.
It only comes back into the hand, but
it comes back into hand.
But still,
absolutely. Yeah, but that still doesn't get any easier to deal with.
Yeah, it's just gonna keep swinging, and that's why it's a good thing for Arthur to hold back on the Prophetic Prism. He doesn't need the 3rd color just yet. He might have some effects, but it might just be an artifact. And playing an Operative and a Freighter is a great turn 5. Especially on this board.
And Kenji really is going to find himself in need of like a Revoke Privileges or something like that to deal with the Daredevil.
Yeah, no 5th land, just passing the turn. I assume since he looks to be playing a fairly defensive deck, he's probably has some bombs that cost more mana. Your Fumigates, your Noxious Gearhulks, and whatnot. Yeah, more good cards. The Malphus squad for Archer that he just drew. He needs to get rolling with his Renegade Freighter. That's just way too big of a threat. Love that card. But it's interesting to see it in a blue-black deck. I think it might not be like a slow blue-black deck like you've seen other teams, but they might have just gotten together a decent mid-rangey blue-black deck, just good creatures and some removal.
It's still fine.
Of course it is.
So he's just trying to figure out who's crewing it.
Mm.
He decides it's going to be the Dund operative. And sends in the freighter. It becomes a 5/4. Gets +1/+1 when it attacks. Important to note that a trigger goes on the stack there because there's an opportunity for some truly impeccable timing.
It is, yes, of course. But on the other hand, Archer doesn't have to announce the trigger if he didn't want to. But if Kenji wants to respond, he will get the opportunity, of course, to kill with the impeccable timing.
And there's the Daredevil. Both attacking.
Yeah, both creatures 4 power and more. Very important against the Skygate, which can usually hold off quite a lot of creatures.
So the Pillar Bug is going to step in front of the Daredevil, and the Freighter is just gonna ram right through here.
So there's an acrobatic maneuver though from Kenji.
So he's digging for cards here. Gets to draw a card when he plays that.
And also he doesn't want the Daredevil to die. So it's a nice way around it.
He does want it to die. He just doesn't want it to come back.
True. Yeah. Yeah.
So what's the follow-up? Second main phase here for Arter.
Yeah, there's a Malphus squad. We saw the second done operative as well.
Looks like he's like looking to hold off on his artifacts here.
Yeah, but
no, he's going to play the Prophetic Prism.
But he still has the Malphus squad for next turn. I would have preferred to see the squad this turn. But this is fine as well. I'll get to dig a little deeper. Still plays the operative. He's developed his board nicely while Kenji stumbled a little bit on mana, and I think if Archer draws like a good removal spell, even like a Die Young would be good here, or a Tidy Conclusion, then he can really push forward in this game and take it home, because that's basically the only thing he needs as Kenji stumbling a little bit. Ooh. Tricky. Attacking with the Aetherborn Marauder into a Founder's creature is not something you would expect. It just means
you start thinking Subtle Strike here.
Yeah, Rush of Vitality, build to last, maybe even Impeccable Timing. He just, I think he would have played that on the Renegade Freighter if he had gotten the opportunity. So I think Archer can basically discount that one.
Your opponent puts their cards down like that. Do you think they definitely have something, or
no?
He's happy to trade there.
And passes.
Gains a little life.
Interesting. So either this is either one of Kenji's stuck with expensive and or a lot of white cards in his hand, or he's just trying to he will do something relevant this turn, which he should.
Do we feel like maybe there's a Fumigate in his future?
Maybe. It's just the problem is like. The problem is that there's still a lot of like the Freighter would stay in play.
Yep.
Daredevil can come back. So I think Archer has to be aware of dumping too much stuff on the board. He has to be aware of a Fumigate thread. It's much easier to find a Fumigate between 12 packs rather than the obligatory 6 for a single player sealed. But yeah,
okay. So there's
he found it. Yeah.
Plays it on the Renegade Freighter before it gets its bonus.
Yeah. I think it's fairly obvious he drew it this turn. But
the Subtle Strike.
He also a card that Archer just drew as well, Subtle Strike.
So he's going to put a +1/+1 counter on his Renegade Freighter, which, by the way, is going to get it to 6 power.
Yes. So it's going to be a 6/5 with 3 damage on it. So I still think Kenji will trade off the Pillar Bug there. Yeah, so the trigger
The
results.
pillar bug has -1/-1, though. It's only got 1 power.
Oh, you're right. So he doesn't even trade.
He's got 1 power across his 2 creatures.
Yeah, ouch.
And Kenji's just going to take 10 here? Or is he writing cards down? He's writing cards down. He hasn't decided about blocks yet.
Yeah, that's why Salutary is so good. It seems very easy to miss the one of the two abilities, but whenever you do both, it almost always ends in a blowout, or you end up trading well.
Yeah, and now the Skygate is just going to get in the way here.
Boom, take 6.
Wow.
Now,
Kenji falls to 9.
yeah. Now in the Fumigate, it's good, but it's not that great. And still, Kenji has to have the Fumigate. We haven't seen any cards from his end, but he also needs the planes, so.
Full board here for Arthur. He doesn't need to play. He has an island. He could play Island Malphite Squad if he wanted.
Yeah.
But it doesn't look like he's going to.
No, I don't think he should. Anyway, it's a little bit too risky. There's few cards that Kenji could play. Wow. Okay, so he's gonna leave himself open, play the squad. Gonna get a servo, I assume. Well, let's see if Kenji can go for the blowout here. We don't see his card, but if he can go Plains Fumigate, this game is firmly in his control.
Yeah, we haven't gotten deck lists yet.
Just a swamp.
We don't know if there's a Fumigate. We're just speculating based on a little bit on how he's played it, right?
Yeah. No, I think they do also have the Fumigate, I think, right? Or no, we saw that was Tomoharu Saito's team. They had a Fumigate. Spoilers. All right,
now everybody comes in.
Yeah, all
the operative climbs inside the freighter, operative, Malphite Squad, and Oval Chase Daredevil.
That's lethal. That's lethal.
He can gain 2,
So
go to 11.
Yes. Okay.
But he's got a tidy conclusion for the freighter. That's going to take him to 10.
All right, so he's going to gain 1, gain 2 more. He's going to go up to 12, but he's going to take 7, so down to 3.
Wow.
And Daredevil in the graveyard, but there's still so much on the board. And there's
Contraband Kingpin for Quiraz. Wow, Kenji just scoops it up.
And look at the scores for Luxembourg. They're crushing Japan.
Wow, Luxembourg up a game in all 3 matches across the table.
Yeah, all of them shuffling. Look at that. So Luxembourg must be really happy with itself. You know, when you get to face off against Kenji Tsumura and Shota Yasaoka, you're usually scared.
Yeah, this is I think when people are looking through the teams for the World Magic Cup. No offense to a very impressive Slovakian squad. I mean, the Japanese team has to be one of the favorites with 2 Hall of Famers. The most recent Pro Tour champion in Shota Yasaoka. Even the third player in the team has a Grand Prix top 8 on his resume. It's 13 years ago, but he has a Grand Prix top 8 on his resume.
My counterpoint: we don't have any Hall of Famers, but we have Ivan Floch, me, but basically semi-retired aspiring player. But our 2 other players are quite decent. I would wager they're better or at a similar level to the others.
Wow!
It's like Shota. We just show up and he makes 2 plays within like 1 second. As is usual for him. Look at his aggressive black-red deck. The Night Market, Lookout, Sky Skiff, and Brazen Scourge.
Brazen Scourge from Shota Yasaoka. This is just unexpected.
Look at that. Steve Hato's on 12 on turn 3 or something.
Yeah, and Yasaoka's on 22. Again, that Night Market Lookout, every time it crews the Sky Skiff, that's one loss of life for Hato and 1 gain for Shota Yasaoka.
It's just really good in the black-red deck, and surprisingly enough, the Sky Skiffs make the deck work because they're really easy to crew and just provide some evasion that this deck lacks, and even appetite for the natural.
Wow, a second Brazen Scourge for Shota Yasaoka.
He's like, you made me angry. Now I'm going to crush you.
So, appetite for the unnatural took out the Sky Skiff on Hato's turn. Hunt the Weak takes down a Brazen Scourge, and now there's a 3/4 wall standing in the way of the Brazen Scourge.
Yes, Steve Hato's climbing back. He has 1 more Hunt the Weak in his hand. Ooh, but
wow. Unlicensed Disintegration takes it out, gets in for 5 here, because again, once that there's a little drain, and Shota goes up to 23.
What a draw.
What can Steve Hotto do here to stabilize? There's a Repair and Tiger.
It's one thing, but he just... Steve Hotto has to hope that Shota doesn't have removal or pump spell or just a creature, and it's only a down operative.
Yeah.
Still basically lethal if all creatures attack. Steve Hotto would have gone 2 from the Hunt the Week.
6th land here. The second Appetite for the Unnatural in hand.
Yeah. He also has the Thriving Rhino. Can keep up the Appetite, but he also has a Hunt the Week in his hand that he's not able to play. He only has 6 mana this turn. And there's a Spireside Infiltrator.
Oh, no.
Again, another card that's really good in this sort of aggressive black-red deck. It's one of the marquee archetypes of this Team Sealed format. Very aggressive, and it can really help take... you can use some very powerful cards.
Right, just looking at that board there, Hotto's at 1 if Shota Yasuoka attacks with everything.
Yeah, basically. And there's 4 creatures to 2, so...
But Hunt the Week here is going to have a little something to say about that. You see Yasuoka taps for a minute. Yasuoka's just picking up his Spireside Infiltrator and putting it into his graveyard already.
Yeah, you should kill this. It's the best creature. Ooh.
Oh, Self-Assembler. So this is not your 15-land aggro red-black deck.
Oh, no other assemblers, though.
I wonder if he's got one in hand.
I don't think so.
You think he just topped out on one assembler?
Yeah, very possible. Sometimes you just need, like the Wayward Giant, the 23rd card in your deck.
Sure.
You just need a 5-drop. Ouch. And we know that actually Steve, I wouldn't say is sad about it because he has the Appetite for the Natural that he wants to play.
Which, by the way, will get him a little bit of life here, too.
Exactly.
He would actually be dead if not for the first Appetite.
Yeah, for sure. The Skiff was doing a lot of work with the Night Market Lookout.
Yeah, and I'm saying, but just literally, he gained 2 life.
Yeah. We'll see. Now I think he has Spontaneous Artist, but he's going to play the Trumpeter. Only as a 3-mana 3 while leaving up the Appetite, which can, especially mid-combat, can be. Look at that. He's actually attacking with his Rhino because it's going to make his Trumpeter a little better.
Yep, he gets a counter on his Trumpeter.
Yeah, and
he
now
still has his Tiger back, and he's able to Appetite.
It's such a bait. Look at that. Steve Hotto has no respect for Shota.
Shota does have a second Self-Assembler in hand.
Okay, good. It wouldn't make much sense.
I would be shocked to see Shota play that card.
But the bait here is so strong because this is basically leaving Steve dead on board. Yeah, and... Are you attacking or are you not attacking? Because Steve has the second Appetite for the Unnatural that he can use. You can see... Shota knows this. It's like, yeah, he kills my Self-Assembler, so my Dun Operative will only be a 2/2. He's going to eat this and this. He's going to go to 1. I like it how both players know exactly what is happening in this
by
game.
playing that second Self-Assembler, it means that there's no block on the Operative now.
Exactly, yeah. Not a profitable one at least.
He has to trade his... Okay, here comes everyone.
I mean...
So that drops Hotto to 1.
Steve could have expected the second Self-Assembler to be in his hand. I thought, it's fine. Sometimes you need one, but it kind of makes sense that in 12-pack sealed pool, you're going to have 2 of those.
He's going to have to trade the Trumpeter for the Operative. Yeah. I'm sorry, he goes to 2, right? The Spire side's gone.
Yeah, he's going to go to... But basically, Steve Hotto will need to... If he doesn't eat the Night Market Lookout, which he can't, because otherwise
he
theoretically could...
so he goes to 4 off of the...
Yeah. He can block the trumpet, block the Lookout with the Trumpeter, and go up to 4 from the Appetite, then go to 1.
Right.
But this way he goes to 2. No, wait, he's still gonna go to 1, right? Yeah, no, but he gained 2 life, so he just gives himself more leeway, so it's fine. The Appetite is gaining him 2, but this board is still quite close. He's still. I don't think he can attack with both creatures here, or any of the 2 creatures.
Yeah.
Should have been gaining also quite a bit of life with the Night Market Lookout, so that card makes racing a little harder. Well, look at that, Steve.
There's a card in hand for Hotto. I see a land and then one other card. I don't know what it is.
Better be a good one. Okay.
It's Spontaneous Artist. We knew that from earlier. So Spontaneous Artist and Thriving Rhino staring down a Night Market Lookout and a Self-Assembler.
Yeah. I assume Shota is a person you don't want to spot during the Pro Tour Top 8 coverage or in feature matches in general, because he's just so fast. Like he just quick peek at the card, put it on the bottom, and you don't get to see it. Look.
Okay, here comes the team.
What does Shota have?
Chandra's Pyro Helix.
He would have played it to the face already. Build to smash.
Build to smash.
+3/+3 in trample. That makes the Self-Assembler 7/7, which tramples over for lethal. Over Steve.
Yes, and there it is. Wow, Shota Yasuoka gets Team Japan on the board here.
Yeah.
Evens up his match with Stephen Hato. 1 game apiece. Again, both of these teams, as configured, are going to the World Magic Cup. They'll be playing, quite possibly against each other. All right, here we see Kenji Samura again. Maybe just not a lot of white in his deck.
Yeah, mono black. Change the plan.
Bastion Mastodon. He's got his own Oval Chase Daredevil.
Looking at Kenji's land, but he actually has 9 planes.
Okay. Just he's only had 1 across these 2 games.
Yeah, and look.
Oh, you mentioned the word Noxious Gear Hulk earlier in this match.
And gain a lot of life. Why not?
So Noxious Gear Hulk takes down the Mastodon.
Yeah, Noxious Gear not that good against the Oval Chase Daredevil. Just keep swinging. Ooh, Chief of the Foundry as well. But Kenji doesn't have that much left in his tank, it seems. But it's probably because he just lacks the white source. He already drew 6 out of his 8 swamps in his deck. I assume he would really like the planes here. Well, look at Arthur's hand. Like, he's down to 11, but his hand is stacked full of cards.
What is the white? We'd speculated about Kenji and a Fumigate.
Well, we were speculating, but
now
I can't confirm it just yet. Just give me a second. I'll look at the deck list. He's playing white. He doesn't have a Fumigate, but he's like the usual. The Glintsleeve Artist and Impeccable Timing, Sky Whale Shot, Wisp Weaver Angel, but he also has a Cataclysmic Gear Hulk.
Oh, wow.
So a Gear Hulk of his own.
Yeah. I like to think of that as the lesser Gear Hulk.
The lesser Gear Hulk? Yeah. I am not a big fan of that one. And it looks like Arthur Quayros on the other side just has a decent blue-black deck. He has like a Confiscation Coup in blue.
Okay.
It's mostly a black deck. It's heavily a black deck, but he has Contraband Kingpin, also a Gear Seeker Serpent,
and a Marionette Master.
And a Marionette Master, yes.
Because he just played it.
Yep. I mean, they just have a lot of black cards. They're not even playing like some really decent black cards. Like Thriving Rats, and he only plays 1 of 2 Oval Chase Daredevils. He actually boarded 1 in. You can see there's 2 in a graveyard.
Oh, did he miss the trigger to
looks that way.
Return those?
Tut. Arthur needs to get his game together for next week. Luxembourg always considered mostly an outsider, a very small community.
Sure. Oh, yeah,
but
absolutely.
Dedicated players. I lived there for a year, 10 years ago, and just fun. They have like 1 shop. It's basically a city.
I love Steve. Steve's been
Steve's
regular at the World Magic Cup, captaining Team Luxembourg. Not a lot of experience on the team here in terms of either Arthur or Jeffrey. Neither of them have any kind of notable finishes.
Yeah, but on the other hand,
Steve Hadow has a couple of Grand Prix top 8s.
Yeah, and he finished with 11 wins and 5 losses the last Pro Tour calendar, so he's 10 pro points. And I think he's qualified for Dublin and the next one.
Wonderful.
And I think he's qualified for all the PTs because of the way silver status works. So I think Steve's in great shape for the whole year. He can make a run at gold if he just picks up more points here and there.
All right, so there you see the Chief of the Foundry and the Oval Chase Daredevil gang up to take down the Noxious Gear Hulk. Yeah. A little bit of a life drain there.
Yeah, but Kenji firmly problems with mana. So many lands, not many spells.
So there's a Metal Spinner's Puzzle Knot. He's going to draw a card.
There
This
we
time,
go.
he's like, I'm going to get these back.
So much value.
Just
I love
3
it.
cards. The Ancestral Recalls.
Yeah. And he has still so many cards left in his hand. And I think I saw Aetherborn Marauder, Aether Trade Winds. He can bounce his own
It's a
Marion
theme deck.
Master. Yeah, we saw this in round 1 where a player blinked his Marion Master with an acrobatic maneuver and
In combat, that was great.
yeah, and he can basically do this as well, like bounce the Mastodon and the Marion Master, and just then have a 4/6 that whenever an artifact dies, you just drain for huge chunks of life.
Another Bastion Mastodon for Kenji. He is up against it here.
Yeah, I remember Archer is in great shape. He already has so many lands in play, 10, and like still 4 spells to play this hand. Look at that. Also has Subtle Strike.
He's at 9, but 9 is a number where he could actually trade wins the Marionette Master
Yeah, and then
and the Bastion Mastodon and
replay it. Yeah. So not even a Fumigate would help. Just because like every time an artifact dies, it would take 4. So, yeah, but Archer maybe wants to leverage the Subtle Strike and play something else. Oh, he has Steve to help him out.
Yeah. You see him talking it over.
Oh.
But attacks with just the Oval Chase Daredevil.
Very conservative. But I mean, I understand Kenji's on 16. You don't want to expand too many resources.
Steve Hotto is able to help Arthur here because he defeated Hall of Famer Shota Yasuoka 2-1.
Yeah, that was a fast match.
Wow.
Both players were playing very fast. Like the rounds here were going to time quite a bit here, but with Shota on your team, yeah. It also look at the score update. Toru Takeshita evened it out with against Jeffrey Martinell. So yeah, some scoreboards there for the Japanese team, but they're still on the back foot here.
But what that also means here is if Arthur wins this game, that is
it
match to Luxembourg.
Yeah. Japan has to rally.
Kenji needs to win this game and the next, and Toru Takeshita needs to win his game as well.
Yeah. And Kenji still not drawing any planes. Just has the Bastion Mastodon for defensive. Oh, there we go.
There's a Plains.
All right, what can he do with all the mana?
It starts with an Oval Chase Daredevil.
All right, so now with 3 mana up, there's potentially some things he can do here. But look at that, Arthur is already he's itching. He wants to play the Aether Trade Winds there.
Yeah, I mean, you can see some really brutal things happen here. Like, if he just replays the Marionette Master with 2+1/+1 counters, or 3+1/+1 counters, like, even just sacrificing his Metal Spinner's Puzzle Knot,
It's 4 damage.
starts to really, put Kenji in an almost unwinnable situation.
Yep. I think so too, because every
he has to
servo
block the servos at some point,
Yeah.
and if you don't block the servos, they whittle you down. If you do block them, you take 4.
Yeah, and Arthur still also has the subtle strike as well in his hand, so I think he should go for it here. Yeah, I think Steve's helping him. That's why the pace of play has slowed down a little bit.
It's one of the cool things about a team event. So there's Aether Trade Winds. Says your Mastodon, my Marionette Master.
Arthur saw the acrobatic maneuver in the previous game, but no.
I think he'd play the Aether Trade Winds there on Marionette Master if that's all it.
Yeah,
it's
it's all that's necessary. Yeah.
Yeah.
He doesn't need much more. Archer's deck is pretty sweet. Like, he has some bombs. He can really hold its own in the early and mid game. He also has a Gear Seeker Serpent still in hand, so plenty of follow up. Even he doesn't have to be scared of a Fumigate. Even.
Yep, there's the Marionette Master with 3+1/+1 counters. So every time an artifact dies, wow, look at this, just brutal.
All right.
And Kenji is at virtually 8 here because he can sacrifice the Metal Spinner's Puzzle Knot.
Yes.
There's an impeccable timing for the Daredevil.
I think it's going to resolve.
So a couple of Daredevils are going to trade.
Archer is fine. This doesn't really change anything. Kenji will go down to 9. Sacking of the puzzle knot will basically mean that he's going to be at effectively 5. And there's some other small cute tricks, like he can pump up his Married Master with a subtle strike as well, with the artifact dying triggers on the stack. So
see Kenji talking to his teammates now. Yasuoka cleared up to help him.
Yeah. As if it wasn't enough that you have to face one Hall of Famer. Another one joins in.
Kenji's like, yep, I have to deal with this. I have to deal with this. I have to deal with this.
Do you see this? Do you see what's happening? I'm dying to all of these cards.
Like, what's the best possible draw for Kenji here?
I don't know. Looking at his deck list, I can't really figure out a way out just yet.
He would need some way to kill the Marionette Master, and then I guess he could deal with the tokens maybe in a more
slower way. He's still on 9,
but he
but
still doesn't.
Like just the Metal Spinner's puzzle not being on the battlefield just means that Archer can sack it.
Oh, by the way, he's going to be able to cast a pretty cheap Gear Seeker Serpent here.
Yeah.
3 mana for his 5/6. Reduced by those 4 artifacts on the board.
Yeah. Not scared of Fumigate then, because Fumigate would gain Kenji 5 life, but he would lose 12. So he would go to 1. Yeah.
And wow, there's it. Team Luxembourg. Archer Quiros, Steve Hotto, and Jeffrey Martinell take the match from Team Japan. You know, one of the favorite teams here in this tournament. One of the favorite teams next week at the World Magic Cup. Wow, what a great confidence booster for these guys.
Of course, yeah.
Going into competition next week as well as for the rest of the day here today.
Yeah, and it's something that I think is very underestimated. I saw it last year when Pierre Dalgeon got his friends team all the way to the semifinals at the World Magic Cup. His teammates were not very confident, but he led by example and showed that we can hang with these big boys. We can really do this. And I think this is going to be a big confidence booster for Steve Hotto as well and his teammates. Like, look, guys, we can beat these guys. They're mortals, just like us.
No shortage of confidence from Steve Hotto. I mean,
of course.
You know he thinks he can do it, but even he is worried about getting these guys who just don't have anywhere near the experience of some of the big-name teams.
Yeah. Speaking of big-name teams, look at that.
Wow. And speaking of Pierre Desjardins, you just mentioned him. Here he is. He's in the middle seat between Elie Pichon and Gregory Cassini, playing against one of the Dex Army teams here. Javier Dominguez, Marcio Carvalho, and Luis Salvato. Salvato coming off a top 16 at the Pro Tour. You might remember him. He had the red-white goggles deck.
And
that was
Madrid.
a top 8 at the Pro Tour in Madrid, yeah.
Yeah, he's doing really well and showing the world that there are more South American Magic players.
More South American countries besides Brazil.
Yeah. But even then, like, Brazil basically only was able to propel Paulo Vitor da Rosa and really able to, multiple platinum statuses and Hall of Fame and etc. Look at that
start from Elie Pichon.
Did he bring his constructed deck by mistake?
Inventor's Apprentice into Smuggler's Copter.
Now he has this thing. Do I want to attack?
He's going to attack his two. He doesn't.
Embarrassment of riches.
Yeah, against a thriving Grubs from Javier Dominguez.
Jeez. It looks like he wants to trade there.
Javier Dominguez, by the way, 4 Grand Prix top 8s, including winning Paris.
Legacy. I was there. We were covering that one. Very impressive stuff from Javier. Just a good player overall. And last year also had a Pro Tour top 16. I think he actually went 12-4 at Pro Tour Battle for Zendikar. So it's just a great season for him last year.
And you could do a lot worse than having Marcio Carvalho in the middle seat. Of course, the limited master from the Pro Tour last year.
Yeah. And
a finalist from the World Championship.
Yeah, he's just a really good player,
Yeah.
especially Limited. Like we talked about his run in Shadows over Innistrad Limited just being insane, but he's just in general a very good drafter.
So no Thrive and Grubs attack from Dominguez. Instead plays a Spireside Infiltrator, but Elie Pichon gets his apprentice into the copter, flies over, gets the loot a card away.
Yeah.
Obviously doesn't need land. He throws the planes into the graveyard.
His hand looking good. I think I saw Welding Sparks. He also has a Propeller Pioneer for the turn after. I think I saw a Snare Thopter as well. And he has...
Oh, wow, look at that. It just untaps his Inventor's Apprentice with an Aviary Mechanic.
Yeah, nice sequence of plays. And Elie really drew really well here. And it's what we talked about, the matchup of the aggressive decks, where black-red and red-white usually the most aggressive archetypes in this format, alongside maybe red-green, depends on how it is built. So let's see if Javier can pull something here. Ooh,
yeah, he's
swinging.
He's getting in. Does one with the Spireside Infiltrator just by tapping it. And then puts a +1/+1 counter on his Thriving Grubs.
Yeah, so 2/3 attacking. And now Elie has to decide. He has a big advantage with his hand there. With the Propel Pioneer, will be able to carry his server. Also has a Welding Sparks for any follow-ups, but I don't think he wants to expose both creatures here. He can also take the race very much into Javier, just playing Snare Thopter, attacking with 2 flyers in the air for 6 on turn 4.
Does he have a Snare Thopter in hand
I
too?
think so, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I think there's a trick, Subtle Strike.
Oh, Subtle Strike.
Yeah.
You see the head shake?
Yeah, like a wiggle.
You are not allowed to complain about anybody else's draw here, Elie Pichon.
Exactly, yeah. But Elie is a very experienced player from France. Several GP top 8s. Used to play the PT quite regularly.
He's got a PT top 8 too.
Oh, yeah.
Going to 2011. One GP top 8. Of course, in the middle seat, Pierre Dejean.
Coming off a Pro Tour top 8 himself in Kaladesh after a 3-year rut in Pro Tour top 8.
I drafted a foil Dynavolt Tower yesterday, and I thought of him.
Oh, yeah, that's his deck, his card. So, and I'm very big friends with Pierre. He's a great character to have on the Pro Tour.
One of the real pleasures for me in this last year has been getting to know Pierre through coverage and doing other stuff at the Pro Tour. It's really just a pleasure to talk to, and someone who genuinely loves the game. Plays it really for the love of the game.
Agreed.
So here's a Propeller Pioneer. Makes a Thopter, cruise the copter.
Makes a servo.
Makes a servo. Yeah, thank you.
I like your rhyme, but it's not technically correct.
Yeah.
And we both know that's the best kind of correct.
Still holding the Welding Spark, still holding the Snare Thopter. Trying to decide what... Wow, he throws away a Renegade Freighter.
I think he's recognized that he's a little bit behind on the board, and investing 3 mana into not even developing his board properly can cost him game in the long run. And he still has the Welding Sparks in his hand, so he's in decent shape, especially against Javier, who 5 lands, only 2 cards left in Javier's hand, and having a Smuggler's Sculptor just feels so great. All the extra lands become spells. It's just so sweet.
Yeah, we've talked about that. Not a lot of ways to sink your mana in this format, and sifting them away. Like cards like Key to the City and Smuggler's Copter are just so key to smoothing out those draws, so you don't get that big glut of land.
Yeah, that's why they're rare, though. Because
of course,
the effect is so powerful.
All right.
Kuru.
Yep.
And swing. So just so it's clear, the Spireside Infiltrator was tapped to crew the Sky Skiff.
Get in the Sky Skiff.
Take 1. Oh, he's going to take it.
Wow.
Interesting. Ooh, a Syndicate Trafficker.
And that card can be a real problem. Only 1 artifact, but it still means, combat or a removal spell or something like that. The timing of that's going to become really essential if you need to deal with that card.
Yeah, but Elie's down to 8, and just with the existence of Infiltrator Sky Skiff puts Elie on a relatively quick clock, especially because Yeah, if he does have flyers, but they don't match up that well just yet. But Ellie will go in his capture. Ooh, he's swinging. This is a race. Like we were talking about Javier being on the offensive and being the aggressor here, but Ellie thinks, no, I can win this race.
And he's still got a snare thopter for next turn.
Yep. Yeah, that's the surprise, maybe that he's he's preparing.
Trying to decide what to discard here. Must want that mountain that he drew.
Oh, he might want to keep that mountain if he wants to play 2 spells a turn. If he has like a 2-drop and keep some mana for the welding spars, he's going to be in very good shape.
So he's already discarded 1 Renegade Freighter. Now he discards a Sky Skiff.
Too many vehicles.
Yeah. Plays his 5th land.
I think he has Chandra's Pyrohelix.
And Welding Sparks.
And Welding Sparks, yeah. So he might pull the trigger on the Pyrohelix to kill the Infiltrator.
Just do it. You would do it right now.
I would do it right away, yeah. Yeah, he holds off for a moment.
Or if he can somehow bait Javier into sacking something to the Syndicate.
Unlikely.
Yeah.
Unlikely.
Well, he lets Javier on tap.
Yeah, I think if Javier is smart about this, he will not lose his whole board.
An Eager Construct.
That's part 1.
That's a pretty good draw for him here.
Yeah, it's an artifact with the Syndicate Trafficker. Remember, the Trafficker is a 3/1 that you can sack an artifact to. Give it +1/+1 counter and indestructible until end of turn. So quite relevant that you have a indestructible creature.
And quite relevant that you have a second artifact.
Exactly, to protect it in case of removal. But
So in theory, Ellie could have said, I'm going to kill that with Pyrohelix.
Yeah.
You sack an artifact, and then, he would have a second removal spell. For some reason, he just needed to go all in on that card, but now he wouldn't be able to do that.
The funny thing is that basically Ellie has almost the kill ready because he has the Snare Thopter in hand.
Oh, that's right.
And with the Smuggler's Copter and the Propel Pattern, he basically has 8 damage in the air. So Pyrohelix also can shoot to the face. So what Ellie Pichon has to, what he's trying to do, it's really not obvious from the way the game looks from Javier's perspective that Ellie Pichon is trying to steal the game here. He's going to try not to die this combat while being able to take care of the Sky Skiff. But if Javier is smart, he's not going to attack with the Sky Skiff. And, maybe just attack with Thriving Grubs or something similar,
What happens if Ellie goes Pyrohelix, your Syndicate Trafficker, and you?
And
which card is Dominguez going to sacrifice to protect?
I think it will be the Construct.
You think it'll be the Construct?
I think it will be the Construct, yes. I think he's going to want to keep the Sky Skiff. Well, he might, if Javier goes aggressive here, and he has no way to see this line, but he has to expect Ellie doing something. Ellie's discarding artifacts, vehicles, and he keeping a mana. It's obvious that he's going to have at least one spell here. Wow. It's also Javier knows that it's probably going to be 2.
Well, it looks like he's thinking about. Is he thinking about an attack here?
Well, that's the thing. He thinks he's winning, but because he doesn't know what Ellie has. But we peeked into Ellie's hand there, so it's much easier for us. It's easy to forget that we have a lot more information than the players do. So we might seem very smart on the surface, as well as the Twitch chat does, but the reality of the players is much harder.
Okay, so the creatures he was lining up there, with including the Sky Skiff, were cards he was not attacking with. Looks like he's leaving. Wow,
it's hard. This is very, very
such
hard.
a complicated turn.
Because Javier can expect impeccable timing. The Pyrohelix is fairly obvious. There could also be a Skywill shot. It's just a tough spot overall.
Yeah, I think nothing good comes from sending the Syndicate Trafficker in.
Well, we'll see about that as it swings in. You can see Javier is playing this really smart. He's keeping the sky skiff back.
Yes.
Yeah, it looks like Ellie will just try to trade here. Block the Syndicate Trafficker. Try to kill the grubs with the sparks.
Yep.
And if Javier decides to sack an artifact to protect his Syndicate Trafficker, he can, in response, use the Pyro Helix. And if Javier decides to sack both artifacts, then he's dead.
Then he's just dead.
So
yes, absolutely.
It's perfect. Like the plan from Ellie works as well.
Okay, so he does sacrifice.
Oh, no response though. Okay.
Interesting.
Oh, because now he can Pyro Helix the Spire Side Infiltrator.
Oh, wonderful. Yeah.
Get rid of the creature on the board. Yeah, it just means that Ellie's going to take 7. But now I think it's not lethal just yet.
Oh, he's got the. Oh, but he's got the extra.
It's only 8
attacker.
Though. But he has to crew something. He has to crew with something. So if he has Snare Top, I think he drew Build to Smash, so it doesn't matter. He would have won anyway. Yep. So Snare Thopter. Crew.
Right. Oh, right.
This is 8 damage. Javier's on 9. So.
Yeah.
Okay, he's gonna pack it up. Javier just.
He's like, no.
Not winning. I think even if Javier untapped, he probably didn't have any outs.
Right, so Ellie Pichon gets on the board. Terrific opening draw for him.
But both players had decent draws.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It was certainly interesting, but the power level.
But you can both have decent draws, and if you have a Smuggler's Copter,
exactly.
the middle draws and the late draws are going to continue to be really good for you. Marcio Carvalho up 1 game on Pierre Dejean, and now we're looking at the match between Gregory Cassini and Luis Salvato.
Both play with a Cultivator's Caravan.
There you see a goggles on an Aviary Mechanic. Oh, and look at that.
And
the Dayhawk.
Yeah, the Dayhawk. Aerial Responder. And even nicer when you can put some goggles on it. You know, a 3/5 Nighthawk. Okay, crew.
So look at this. He crews. Then he's going to move the goggles over to the aerial responder.
I love it.
And attack with his 5/5 and his 3/5.
Sweet. I love it.
Vigilance lifelink.
And also I like that Luis is not scared of attacking here.
Can't see quite how much energy he has there.
Yeah.
But it doesn't look like he's anywhere near making a 6/6.
Doesn't have a 5 or a 3. that much we know.
So just throws something in the way.
Is there a follow-up for Luis Salvato? No. Okay. Gregory's only on 4 mana, but he has quite a lot of spells. Certainly probably wouldn't mind lands with the Architect of the Untamed on the battlefield.
Yeah. That's why I was wondering about how much energy.
I know.
Oh, there's 2 dice on there.
What? Already?
There are 2 dice on his energy. I can't see what the total is, but there are.
Well, I see a long text cub in the graveyard in the bottom left, so he might just popped off in the early turns. But it's very easy for blue-green to get energy, right? There's so many interactions.
Oh, yeah.
So many cards give you energy, so...
I've ended multiple games winning with blue-green where I still have 13 energy I didn't even use.
Ooh. The Edgecrafters. I was not going to create artifacts. Just going to go for a nice 5/6 that can't be blocked by small creatures.
They're even more elegant as a 5/6.
Yeah, elegant Edgecrafters, indeed. So it's now a 5/6 that can't be blocked by creatures with power 2 or less.
So Aerial Responders gets in again.
Such an annoying card. Especially with goggles on them. 3/5. Yeah, players are swinging left and right here. Okay, he created a beast, so he did have enough energy for the Architect there. Must be nice.
I still have not done that. Of all the things
You?
I've done with the energy deck, yeah.
You draft so much.
I know. That card always ends up having to block or do something else or gets killed. Just draws fire.
Yeah, now he's
All right,
swinging.
swings with a 6-6, swings with the Elegant Edgecrafters, swings with the Cultivator's Caravan.
It's a lot of big creatures. 5/5, 5/6, 6/6.
So Aerial Responders is going to crew the Caravan for Salvato. He's going to put that and the Ornamental Courage.
3 more toughness. So 7/9.
And it untaps.
And it untaps. Can kill both now. Unless Luis has a trick, which he looks like he does. All right.
Impeccable timing.
So he just wants to trade. Yeah.
Yep.
Not the greatest combat for Luis Salvato there.
Yeah,
He's also
three
taking
for
10
2.
and taking 10.
Sort of 2.
Yeah.
The token is sort of a card.
Yeah.
And there's a Thriving Turtle. Starts building his energy back up.
And also a land. Yeah, Ether Hub out of all.
Oh, wow. Perfect.
Yeah, Gregory seems to have a pretty sweet blue-green energy deck there. And he might have splash easy. But yeah, we're going to go back to our main match. I think that one's pretty much in the back for Gregory. Remember, this is time shifted. Look at the aggression.
Wow.
Brazen Scourge on one side and Beaumont Courier on the other.
All right, so Beaumont Courier gets in. The Inventor. Oh.
He's going to first do the Smuggler's Copter.
Oh, he's doing this. Okay.
And again, Embarrassment of Riches for LEP Shown. So many cards, so little time.
He's going to throw away a Skywhale? He's not going to throw away. Oh, he's going to throw
Well, this first.
Look at this. He can't decide whether he's going to throw away Skywhaler Shot or Welding Sparks. He throws away the Welding Sparks.
And he nodded as well when he did it, like, oh, I'm going to discard this one.
He just peeked at his card that he was putting under the Beaumont Courier.
Right. So.
And the card is a face-down card. You don't actually know what cards are under your Beaumont Courier. And you see Javier Dominguez,
like,
kind of like, hey, what's up with this? Going to call a judge here.
Yes. I think Ellie's going to get...
the hand language of Magic.
Also we have France against Spain, right? So we're obviously going to get some more articulation from them.
Can we get an Italian judge?
Yeah, that would be sweet. Yeah, the perfect trifecta.
Oh, you see Ellie, he's like, oh.
Yeah, I'm silly.
Yeah, and you will end up playing with some cards in this format that you haven't played with before. Yeah, and so they're going to see what happens here. I'm sure he's going to get a warning for looking at extra cards here.
I'm sure it's going to be just a game rule violation for Ellie. And
he'll get a warning. It's not going to result.
Yeah, Javier just complained that it gives him the extra information. Sometimes you want to know what's under your Beaumont Courier. You want to sacrifice to get a good card. Yeah, I wonder how that conversation in R&D went. Like, maybe Exile faced up first, and like, no, I want to know. But also, this makes it a little more tricky because your opponent doesn't know either.
But I was saying, I think there's inexperience with some cards. Like, not.
Of course,
I rarely play the aggressive deck. I haven't played with a Beaumont Courier.
You're crazy.
I haven't played that deck.
You should play that deck. You should play aggressive decks. It's fantastic.
I don't enjoy them. Actually, it's not true. I've played a lot of red-white aggressive decks. Played a lot of Inspired Charge decks. I just haven't played with that card.
Oh, yeah.
So the card under the Courier.
Yeah.
And play proceeds.
Yeah, Javier down to 14 from the attack, and Ellie just again had a great draw. Again, constructed like almost. Well, still keeping plenty of good cards in his hand still.
So fourth land for Dominguez. 2 swamps, 2 mountains. Gets in for 3 with the Brazen Scourge, but it is going to be met with impeccable timing.
Ooh.
But a rush of vitality. Huge swing there for Dominguez. Gets in for 4 life, gains 4 life as well, and has the follow-up. He's got the Syndicate Trafficker.
Yeah, it's good for Javier.
That's a nice turn.
Yeah, like usually wasting a Rush of Vitality turn 4 means that you don't get to develop your board.
Right.
But he has a 2-drop to follow up, so he's not falling behind that much.
All right, here's an Inventor's Goggles. Wow, and it hops right onto.
Javier's like, come on.
Gets a servo, which will no doubt crew up the copter. Yep.
I think Ellie should just swing everything.
You swing with everything.
Yeah.
The Syndicate Trafficker doesn't get easier to deal with once your opponent starts getting to play
and
artifacts.
you wouldn't mind trading it with the Bowmat Courier at this point, but because Ellie has 1 card left in his hand, so it's just very likely that he'll be able to just discard everything. Look at
again, he's like, I don't know. Do I get rid of this Glint Sleeve Artisan? Do I get rid of this Skywhaler shot?
Yeah.
Decides Skywhaler shot's a better card for him to have.
And tough decision for Javier. He can either block the bigger creature in the Avenger's Apprentice or trade with the smaller one, which can bring more cards for Ellie, or neither. They can just take all the 6 damage. He has to still deal with the 3/4 Glint Sleeve Artisan with those goggles on, so it's a tough spot.
Yeah, I think you have to trade with the courier. You can't really risk him, getting up to a 3rd card next turn, and he's got 1 card in hand, so.
It's a good one. We know it's a good one, but Javier just had to go this. He has to try to win the long game.
I remember it costs red to sacrifice the courier, so you can't just do it. So if you're wondering why you wouldn't sacrifice it.
But I'm sure Ellie Pichon certainly wouldn't have minded to just play. He has another Glint Sleeve Artisan as well.
Yeah, but right now he's going to use the Skywhaler shot on the Brazen Scourge.
I love how I don't need to even see his face. I already know what he's his sour look is like. Come on, this and that and that. You have everything.
Okay, so the copter gets crewed, but it's taken out of the sky with a Welding Sparks, and in for 5 comes Pichon. Just dumps the land into play. I would like to just have the Magic Hand language dictionary.
This one's fairly obvious. He just resigned. Yeah, what else? I'll take it. There's not much he could do, but...
Another Glint Sleeve Artisan. Looks at his card, lays down his hand, hits the reveal hand button to his opponent.
Pretty much, yeah.
Elie Pichon goes up 2 games to 0. That's the first of 2 matches that either team needs to win. It's the first one decided. So France is up 1 match with 2 matches still in play here. Pierre Dejean down a game. Gregory Cassini up a game for France.
Yeah.
So now we're going to check in on Pierre Dejean, Pro Tour top 8 competitor, against Marcio Carvalho, World Championship finalist.
This is a match and a half.
And this is, blue, green, red energy versus blue, black artifacts.
Usual. And no, Luis must be rejoicing, about his adaptive automatons finally in play. but we're laughing, we're making jokes about it, but I think in blue, black it's actually a decent win condition. It's so huge. Rarely you'll find something that dominates on the board, if you can get there, of course.
Look at all these attackers here from Carvalho. Pima Outriders, a pair of Repairing Tigers. Even the, I believe, even the Theorists are getting in there.
Swinging with everything. Well, Pierre's down to 10, and Marcio is up a game, so I'm not surprised. He just wants to get this over with.
We don't know what, as we came in, they were mid-attack, so I don't know if those Tigers have any bonuses.
Yeah, we can't
They
tell.
don't really need them on this board.
Yeah.
They're still pretty good. And everything tramples.
It's just so gross. There's so many creatures with trample, but I like how it makes chump blocking that much harder with all the servos around. I think it makes the games more interesting, more interactive.
Yeah, I agree with you. Oh, and that's the game. Marcio Carvalho wins 2 games to 0, so that evens up the match. The French team gets 1, and now the Dex Army team gets 1.
Yeah, of course. Remember, like there's three guys there. One's from Spain, one's from Portugal, one's from Argentina. But even I talked to them before during deck build. They speak English to each other because even Javier and Luis, their Spanish accents are pretty different. So even though Marcio understands some Spanish, he wouldn't be able to get anything out of their conversation together because they have to simplify it on a Spanish level. So.
All right, so that's the end. We don't have any more Magic to show you. I can tell you that. Okay. Thank you. I'm sorry. I was getting a conflicting message in my ear. We still had a match to go here. Gregory Cassini, Luis Salvato. I apologize. I had the
wrong instructions.
Voices. Yes,
wrong instructions.
Hearing voices.
Yeah, a little bit of sleeve, but a little bit of glare there. But I still see
Arborback Stomper underneath that glare.
Yeah, that's a good one to have. But
Core Prowler.
Ooh.
The 6/6. He's like, what's up here? Why is he sending that into my 6/6?
Well, there must be something. But look at it. He has two.
He can afford to waste one.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like he likes to say, he had the Architect of the Untamed and whatnot. Oh,
look at this, an acrobatic maneuver. Oh my God, on the Seed Sculptor.
Yeah, it's still just a trade.
It's still just a trade, but that's a sweet play. He gets to draw a card in the process.
He still has to face another Core Prowler, though. Look at that. It's just the 6/6 creatures are coming. No fear. And you know what? I really like High Spire Artisan in these blue-green decks because it's a card that really can help you shore up your defenses. Having Rage is really good against all those blue decks with their P-Fouls and whatnot. So it really gives you then time to develop. Oh, Nissa Vital Force. Yeah, and how about protecting your Nissa against
behind
a
a
small
High
board?
Spire Artisan?
Yeah, for sure. He's gonna make it 5/5 now out of that island.
Yeah, and now just.
Ugh. That's gross. Gregory Cassini's deck looks really nice.
So Greg is about to attack, and you see Pierre Deschamps was like, "Hold on, why are you attacking with that Core Prowler?" And he showed him something in hand here.
Yeah, because I also have this.
Yes, this Imperial Voyager.
Yeah, Gregory Cassini's just crushing here. I mean, to be honest, in these green mirror matches, the player with more fat usually wins.
Yes.
And we already saw that Marcio took a lot of the Riparian Tigers, a lot of the green from, they split the green.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, you're right.
So I think this is mainly a white-based deck that's trying to be very tempo-ish, but with 8 lands in play, it's probably not much that he can do there.
The Seed Sculptor gets in the way of the Core Prowler.
Takes 7.
Yeah, and he just takes a beating, gets a little bit of energy here. Nis is ticking up.
This is a very difficult position for Luis Salvato here. Even if he had
I was just saying, even a Fumigate is not going to really help him here. And, Luis Salvato sees the writing on the wall.
Yeah, but they're just a very mediocre draw. All lands. But look at that. He also has an island. So they basically built two green decks with 3-color green decks at that. So quite interesting how that worked out in their pool.
But Gregory Cassini wins the match, and that wins the match for Team France.
Yeah.
So.
Well, it's not the national.
It's not the national team, but yes, I'm sorry. I'm already slipping to more Magic. We're done here, though. We're going to be right back with more Magic. We have round 4 coming up. Don't go anywhere. Grand Prix Rotterdam is not even halfway done yet.
Support your local game store by going to Friday Night Magic. Have fun hanging out with friends, cracking new Magic packs, and playing with your favorite Kaladesh cards. Featuring devious gremlins, ingenious dwarves, and face-smashing gearhulks.
Up your game with Ultra Pro Magic the Gathering accessories. Find the best Magic art on card sleeves, deck boxes, playmats, and more. Visit ultrapro.com to learn more and find a retailer near you.